Stop using church intimidation, control and manipulation. Jezebel and all them spirits fall back, not trying to hear it. Go with Jesus, walk in peace. On your pew can sit that beast that we're fighting in the world. I'm that JC Supergirl, Jesus Christ, belt of truth, arm of God, I'm slaying you. Power of the word, two-edged sword. MC Heaven rocks for her Lord. Thought they crept in unaware, didn't see the gatekeeper standing right there. Not getting down with your tactics, undoctrinal practice.
Hey, everybody. God bless you. Welcome again to the Crystal Jones Show, the show that is all about what? Life's balance. Yes, we have to have balance in life, right? So I'm your talk show host, Crystal Jones. Thank you all for being such a lovely audience and returning week after week to see what great things that we have to share with you. As all of you know, I've been doing a study with everyone on the Levitical Priesthood. But today we're going to do something special. We're going to have the Levitical Priesthood in action. We have a live Levite today that represents today's priesthood, and her name is Miss Iva Foster. I'll bring her. She'll be coming forth in a little while. So we're excited to have her. She's from Tennessee. So we're going to be enjoying her and her songs, and we're going to be hearing her testimonies and things like, what she has to share with us. So with that said, let me give you my contact information. You could always reach me at thecrystaljonesshow at gmail.com, Instagram at thecrystaljonesshow. Also, you can always see my uploads on my Facebook page and also on YouTube. I upload all the time because you all know that I do a show every week. So you have to go there to the Crystal Jones TV show if you go to YouTube or Facebook. And you could pull me up and you can see the latest shows and the things that I'm doing on the show and behind the scenes. All right. So I wanted to share with you today something that I had on the course of the Levites. Okay. The course of the Levites in the eccentric Psalm scrolls from Qumran. Now, remember, the Dead Sea Scrolls popped up at a different time in history. So that allowed us to be able to understand a lot about our history, the Jews. For a long time, we didn't know who we were. We were people in a strange land. We were hated. We were enslaved and all of that. And we didn't realize that we were the Jews, we're the original Jews, right? So what I'm going to do is read you a little portion here that I have from the courses of the Levites and the eccentric Psalm scrolls from Qumran, all right? And this is from Josephus Flavius, okay? He's a Jewish historian, and he, wrote a lot of different things about our history, and he had a lot of the history behind the Bible. And so he is writing here to let you know about in the book of the Chronicles. Give me a second. I'm trying to get this to. Okay, in the books of the Chronicles and the titles of the Psalms, with their references to Asaph, the sons of Korah, our attention is frequently drawn to the responsibility of the Levites for the singing of the Psalms in the temple. Remember, we were responsible for bringing forth the music in the temple back in the day when we were living in Jerusalem. And, we had a history of that. The Levitical priesthood of the tribe of Levi, they were responsible, for the songs. We know from Josephus that they still continue to fulfill this role in the 1st century AD. Josephus wrote about antiquities of the Jews and stuff like that, right? So an interesting passage tells us what psalms were appointed for the Levites to sing on the different days of the week. So this is how serious this thing was. The Levites sang in their courses. They had different days that they were supposed to serve. All right. So this was the singing which the Levites used to sing in the temple On the first day, they sang, "The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, um, the round world and they that dwell therein," right? On the second day, they sang, "Great is the Lord and highly to be praised in the city of our God, even upon his holy hill." On the third day, they sang, "God standeth in the congregation of God. He is a judge," right? Excuse me. "He is a judge among the gods." And on the fourth day, they sang, "O Lord God, to whom vengeance belongeth, thou God to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself," right? So on the fifth day, they sang, "Sing we merrily unto our God strength. Make a cheerful noise unto the God of Jacob." On the sixth day, they sang, "The Lord is King and hath put on glorious apparel." So they worshiped the God of heaven and earth day by day, right? On the Sabbath day, they sang a song, a psalm, a song for the Sabbath day, a song for the time that is to come, for the day that shall be all Sabbath and rest in the life everlasting. So they were singing of, on that day of the millennial reign. They knew that, the Messiah would come and die for us and all, and we would go through all these different things, even our enslavement in the four corners of the earth. They knew that someday Christ would return and bring us into the land again that we once left. So this was something, very serious. I just wanted, to share that with you all, that this is something that we used to do in our own homeland when we lived in Jerusalem. All right. So now I'm going to, without further ado, because we have a lot to cover, Iva has a lot to share. So I don't want to take away any time from that. I want us to just enjoy what God has given her today to share with us. So I'm going to go and read to you her bio so that you understand who she is. Okay. Now, Miss Iva Foster, she is a woman of integrity and faith, strong and positive leader with a dynamic and commanding stage presence, dedicated to her mission to encourage, motivate, uplift, and what? Win souls for the kingdom. This is kingdom business, all right? Her powerful, uplifting messages from setbacks. We've all had setbacks, but she says here to overcoming hopeless obstacles through her faith in God, connects with the masses, offering resolutions of hope and compelling them to the urgency of change in their lives. With her pure and authentic voice, she creates and crafts musical murals that capture the essence of the human spirit. And every lyric is carefully crafted to reflect personal experiences, lessons learned, and hope for the future. I bring to the stage none other than the Levite of today, Miss Iva Foster. Iva, welcome to the Crystal Jones Show.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you. Thank you for being a guest on the show. I have enjoyed your songs here at the house. I've been like, oh my gosh, I love that Joy on the Other Side. Oh, all of the music is just, as you said in your bio, it's soothing. It touches the heart of the people, and it shares your experience too. I can hear your testimony through your singing. A lot of people that sing, they may have beautiful voices, but you can feel people's pain when they're singing, and when I've heard your different videos and things like that, I said, wow, this woman has been through something. I could feel it through the spirit. I could feel what you've been through. So Iva, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Ooh. Well, I am born and raised in Palestine, Texas. That's my home. Grew up in a family of ministers. Started my singing from there. As a little girl in the church choir. I was 8. I have 7 brothers and sisters, so we were the choir. I took a liking to it and just kind of went from there. And God just kind of used me in different capacities. Like I said, I sing about my experiences. I am an open book. I just feel like my story can help somebody else. A lot of times we're uh, kind of afraid or a little ashamed of our past, but that is the thing that God has delivered us from, and that is the thing that's going to help the next person along the way. I always say we're just helpers one to another. So,
That's
yeah.
beautiful. That's beautiful. So you started singing at a very early age, it sounds like. You
Yes,
know,
very.
I can identify with that because I can remember my grandmother put me right in the choir when I was 9 years old. She just said, "Okay, they're gonna be waiting for you after school."
Okay.
So I know it. I know what that how that goes. But I know I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But what made you decide that you wanted to do this like professionally? You know.
This is something that was always spoken to me. My grandfather, he had prophesied this to me as a little girl. I was always the one that was kind of overlooked and everything. And he said that I had something special, that God was going to use my voice. I didn't notice it at the time, and then when I grew up a little bit, I started doing the little raps and all the little singing. I thought that was it. But God had another plan for me.
Wow.
So,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
yeah.
And this song here that we have coming up called Joy on the Other Side, what inspired you to write that song?
Wow. Well, part of my story is, I'm in my third marriage. The first two were not great marriages. I endured a lot during that season. And when I met my now husband, he inspired that song. It was just God just showed me his grace and his love, and the concern that he had for me and my future. And so sometimes when you're in a trial or you're going through so much, it doesn't look like it's going to get better. And sometimes you don't see the end of the road, but God showed me through this particular man. And it's with any trial that we face. A lot of times when we're going through, we don't understand it, we don't see the end, but God just wants us to know there is joy. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy, it does come in the morning. So this is my morning. I endured the weeping, I endured the hardship, I endured the trials and the tribulation, but it's morning now, and I have so much joy. So he inspired that song, and I wrote it after our marriage. Actually, I'm like, God, you smiled on me. You gave me a reason to smile again. And so I love to just display that and just share that with others, because he has brought me joy, and it was through the grace of God. So
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, because I think a lot
thank
of time,
you.
like you said, our people don't really want to like show weakness sometimes. So we don't share, the things that we've overcome. And I always even tell, like with my family, when they're going through things and they share with me, I'm like, listen, no matter what, we're still family. I may not agree with you, or I may not understand what you've been through, but always tell
Mhm.
me, because I still love you. I'm still going to pray for you. There's nothing you
Exactly.
can do about it. I'm going to love
That's
you,
right.
So just share with me, because I'm also learning.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
learning through what you went through, as well as you are learning from me. Because sometimes my younger cousins may look at me as, oh, she's the older cuz, but that
Uh,
doesn't mean I know everything. I don't know
it's still
everything.
growing.
You know what I'm saying? They've been through some things sometimes that I've never been through, and vice versa. So I always tell them, listen, as much as you think I help you, you help me, because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
So it always helps to just be honest. I always tell them, just be
Right.
you. That's
That's
it. And that's where you get the blessing. And even within your prayers and stuff like that. I always tell people when they say, well, you know how to pray and all of that. I say, yeah, but my prayer is being honest with God, because guess what? He knows anyway. So
anyway. Right.
what's the
That's
point in
right.
me acting like I got some big secret going on, because I don't.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I can identify with what you said. So I'm glad that you have, like you say, you may have been overlooked or something like that.
Yeah.
But you know
Yeah.
you went through whatever you went through, and now you're here to share it with others. So we're gonna go into the song now, Joy on the Other Side. So let's take a listen at Joy on the Other Side.
There is joy on the other side of pain, and there is sunshine on the other side of rain. Sometimes you gotta go through to get to what God has in store for you. There is joy on the other side of pain. I know it feels dark right now and you can't seem to find your way. Storms are coming strong. Yeah, the rainbow will come, but only after the rain. There is purpose in the midst of your pain, and there is joy on the other side of pain, and there is sunshine on the other side of rain. Sometimes you gotta go through to get to what God has in store for you. There is joy on the other side of pain. I remember the time when I wanted to give up and die. Everything was going wrong, and I didn't know. Sometimes you gotta go through what you don't wanna go through. There's a blessing waiting for you on the other side. Help me say on the other side, on the other side of pain. Sunshine, yeah. Sometimes you gotta go through. On the other side of pain. Come on and help me say, on the other side of pain. On the other side of pain. Sunshine.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful video and song, Joy on the Other Side. It's always comforting to know that, so we don't panic and think that God has left us and this is the only thing we're going to see for the rest of our lives, because it hurts when you're going through, So that is a beautiful song. But tell us about a time when I see the next song coming up, which is Hold On. But tell us about a time where you felt like you really needed God to help you to hold on, because all of us have gone to that point where you're like, God, if you don't help me through this, I don't see where I could make it. But I'm trying. I'm doing everything I know how, but it's like I just feel like I'm losing my footing, my grip. Something's going on. Tell us about that time in your life.
Ooh. Well, one time, okay, this stands out. I know I, was a single mother for several years, and sometimes when you're trusting and dependent on God, I chose to change my lifestyle, and God saved me. And a lot of times, you're told once you get saved, all these great things are going to happen. Well, I went straight into trial mode, and God was trying my faith during that season. And I was like, God, this is, I don't know where else I can go, especially in ministry. A lot of times when we're ministers, we're ministering all the time. We're witnessing and we're encouraging other people. But when we go through, it's hard to to confide in someone else, and we really have to learn how to lean and depend on God. And so during those seasons, I was like, my trials, they were very hard for me, but people they didn't, I was the beacon of light, so they didn't look for Iva to have trials. But I'm like, I don't know, sometimes you got teenagers, you don't have all the answers, and I'm stressed to the max. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm trusting God. I don't have a mate, can't have a boyfriend, because we're trusting God, living for the Lord. And so those times can be very, very hard when you're having to really trust in God. And I just remember, just like, God, if you don't help me, like, I don't know what else to do. I really need you in this season in my life. And he's always come through. He's always come through for me.
Wow,
So, yeah.
that's beautiful, because I can imagine, I really, and I tell women this all the time, women that I work with and whatnot, I honestly treasure you all, because you all make it look so easy to have children and keep moving through, whether you're divorced or you're by yourself. There are phenomenal women that just, and I know it's only the grace and the mercy of God.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I've, women that I've worked with and whatnot, the things that they have poured out to me,
Yes.
that they've gone through. And I'm like, only God is holding this woman up, and it's beautiful when I see you all that have made it, because it's one thing when you're by yourself. It's one thing to have faith in God for you. But when your faith also has to cover your household, which just consists of you and your children, like you said, you don't have a mate at the time to help pray you through, help pray with you, help, whatever. And you're struggling to see the next day. That's a lot, because in the midst of that, you're instilling faith in your children.
That's right.
They're seeing you go through. So when they get older, they'll say, I remember my mother had nobody but God. And I saw her make it. And that's going to encourage them when they go through. And hopefully their situation will be different than yours. But still, that's not going to stop them from going through situations.
Yeah.
But they're being made strong through your faith. Like Paul had told Timothy, he said, the faith that was put in you through your mom and your grandmother. He told Timothy about that. He said, your faith has been strong down through the years, though you're a young man, but it was instilled in you through the mama and the grandmama.
That's right. That's right.
And a lot of us have that testimony because my faith was strong through my grandmother. So I know what that is to, she was the first one to put Christ in me, to feed that into me, just her life. And, she was the mother of a church. So she, everything she did, I just, yes, grandma. So she had strong faith. But when I look back now and I see all the things that she was dealing with in her family, I'm like, wow. And she made it look like, I got this, girl. I got this. But I know that she was struggling. Now I know what she was going through because I'm grown now. But at the time, I didn't know. She just looked like she was just floating through the air.
I understand that. Yes.
So what did you have, like somebody like a female in your family that you looked up to?
Oh yes, my mother. She's definitely my backbone. She was there from day one. I owe her everything. She was that beacon of light for me, that hope for me. So yeah, I appreciate my mom and my children. They love their granny.
Yeah.
She definitely instilled prayer in all of that in all of us. So yeah.
Yeah, and I had to, same thing with strong women. My grandmother was the one that instilled faith into me. And, also then my mother started, going back to church and everything like that. So my mother always been strong in my life with a lot of different things too, So I've had strong women in my, you know, in my family and in my background, God has always put me around strong women, you know. And like I said, my grandmother always kept me geared in the ways of the Lord. You know, she would always just call me up and say, all right, now this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be in this play. She was always, she was my producer.
I love it.
You know, so as I got older, then, you know, I got to sing with different choirs and stuff like that, you know, professionally. So I said all of that came through her doing that to me, you know. But I was enjoying it, you know. As a kid, I thought it was fun because she, you know, put me in, you know, I remember I was 9 when she first put me in the choir. And when I got there, it was like a whole bunch of kids. I was like, yeah, we gonna have a good time. So I just always enjoyed the things that she put me in, you know what I mean? They were fun because I had kids my age, and they were like that church that we first were in. There were like 100 kids in that church. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we were all like, you know, little. Yeah, we were all steps there, you know, little kids. So we went to the same schools and all of that kind of stuff. So we were like a family. So it wasn't drudgery to go to church. We had like a good time. You know, we used to play them tamarines. That was back in the day. You know, we used to get down, honey. We used to have church, you know.
I love it.
So we had, you know, so much fun and so much love for one another. Even when we got to high school, you know, we went to the same high schools and stuff like that. So we were able to keep each other in check a little bit, like, okay. I see you going left. Let's get back on track.
Okay.
You know, we have to anoint our head and sit at the lunch table together and pray, you know. So we had a very God-fearing, you know, environment when we grew up. So I always, you know, appreciate that. But now we're going to go into that video of Hold On. Let's
Good evening. Somebody out there is going through, but I want you to do this one thing for me. Will you do me a favor this evening? Ooh, listen, I want you to do this. Hold on, a little while. Hold on, a little while. Hold on, a little while longer. 'Cause help is, yes it is. Help is on the way. Hey, hold on, a little while longer. Hey, hold on, a little while longer. Hold on, a little while longer. 'Cause help is on. Yes, it is. Help is on the way. Hey, and I want you to hold on. Hold on. Got to hold on. Oh, you gotta hold on. Don't give up now. Don't give up now. Don't give up now. Hey, don't give up now. Got to hold on. You got to hold on. You got to hold on. Hey, you gotta hold on. Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on. I'm praying for your sister. I'm praying for your brother. Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on. You got to hold on. Yes, hold on. Hey, 'cause hold on. You gotta hold on. Because help is on. Yes, yes it is. Help is on the way. Yes it is. One more time. Help is on the way. Yeah. It's on the way. Hallelujah. Help is on the way. Oh yeah. It's on the way. It's on the way. It's on the way. Don't give
Me and my husband.
I like that one. That looks like y'all have fun.
We do. It was during when they just shut down everything, with the COVID, and we were in the garage, and we just made up a song and just started playing. I put him on the spot. My husband's not a singer, but I'm like, you go background for me.
Oh,
Yeah, we have a good time.
that was good. When I saw that one, I cracked up. I said, "That's all right. Do it at home. Do it at home."
Yes.
That's beautiful, beautiful. The next one that we have on the list is called No Weapon. So I know that at times we always, we've gone through, all of us have gone through things where we felt like the adversary was just throwing weapons on every side and on every hand, just throwing it at us. And I know for me came when I first got out of high school, and now you're on a new level. And as they say, new levels, new devils, right? So you have all this kind of crazy temptation waiting out there for you, like Christ when he was in the wilderness and the devil kept offering him all this stuff. Hey, come over here. I'll give you this. I'll give you that. I'll give you the other. And we think we're prepared for that. But when you leave the confines of home with mommy, daddy, grandma, grandpa, all of that, it's you in that wilderness by yourself. So going away to college and all of that kind of stuff represented new things to you, because when you come from a small town, everybody knows your pastor and your people. Because I know the town I grew up in, if you did anything, they gonna tell on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You was kept in check. So now that you ain't home no more, and all of these different things are there, the different temptations, those are weapons coming at you. So tell us a little bit something about No Weapon.
Ooh. No Weapon, honey. It's just to let everybody know that we are victorious, honey. At the end of the day, that weapon that was formed against you, it didn't work. It didn't prosper. We are victorious. So that is just a message to encourage our brothers and sisters. Let them know that although the weapon is formed, honey, it's not going to work. You will get the victory in the end. Yes.
That is so true.
Yes.
That's why now I for the show, I made my motto balance, because that was the first thing that I realized about myself once I got out of the confines of being secured like that, was that I didn't have balance. So when you realize you don't have balance, you're like, okay, Lord, something here is off with me, and so then he brings you into the reality that yes, I formed you and all of that before you even got in your mother's womb and all of that, but now you're out here because you're now an adult, so you're going to have to trust me on a different level now. Grandma ain't gonna be able to pray you out of everything no more. Or your daddy or whoever. You gonna have to trust me. So it was learning the Lord and learning balance, because you're dealing with the church realm, but you're also always going to be dealing with people who are not in church.
Hey, that's right.
And they have other ways of dealing with things. Some of those things are good, some bad, some very ugly. So you have to get to know where to, fit in, as far as God is concerned when it comes to your life. You have to learn how to not, to the best of your ability, not to offend people, but also to be truthful with people, because you can't go along with everything. You know what I mean? Some things you have to tell people, listen, I love you, I understand, but that's not for me. I can't participate in that or whatever. So we're going to go to No Weapon at this time. Let's see that video and that song.
thought you weighed me down, you thought you had me level to the ground. My life was such a mess, I was so depressed. Didn't think that I was truly blessed. I once was blind, but now I see. It took the Lord to rescue me out of all of the pain, out of all of my shame. I've been changed in Jesus' name. No, 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 no. Stop me and block me, but it did not work. No weapon that you formed against me, it just won't work. No, it just won't work. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Wow. That reminds me of sisters going through where they're like, okay, you caught me off guard, but I'm taking my family back.
That's right.
You ain't coming in here with that. No.
Right.
I'm gonna pray and anoint
right.
my head, and I'm snatching it back.
That's right. That's a good one.
Yes, but when I saw that, that's exactly what I thought about. That sounds like a real heartfelt testimony. You know?
Yes.
So I love that one. I love them.
Thank you.
In the midst of all of these different things, we see that God he's so amazing to us all. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. As we enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise, and we're thankful unto him, and we bless his holy name, not just for the things that he does for us, because of who he is, because he is that amazing. So I know God is amazing to all of us, we as his people. I'm sure he's done so many, many, many things. Is there a testimony you want to share with us about God being amazing? Something that share with us.
I just want to encourage the next person, like, man, just taste and see that the Lord is good. We're all walking through this journey, and he is there for us every step of the way. He just wants you to reach out and just trust him. I've tasted and seen, I grew up in a family that was ministers and everything, but I had to learn God for myself. And once I did, honey, that's a journey that I wouldn't I just don't take it for granted. You know, God has just shown me so much love and grace, even when I didn't love myself, even when I didn't feel that I was worthy of being loved, he yet loved Iva. And so from that, I just say, he's so amazing. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter about your past. You know, God is always there. His grace is enough for us. And so, yeah, just taste and see that the Lord is good and that he is an amazing God.
Wow, yes, he is.
Yeah,
And like you said, sometimes people don't feel uh, that they could be loved, you
yeah,
know. And I could take, it takes me back to a testimony a young lady had given me, um, a very personal testimony about molestation within her family. And she couldn't take it anymore. She come into work one day and she just confessed this to me. And she said, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but she said, I just had to. And I said, I'm glad you did, because you know what? You broke that fear. There's
mhm,
nothing for you to fear now. You came out and told that thing, tell on that devil, because he can't have you no more. Mm-mm. You confessing that that thing happened. I said, I want you to know that's not your fault.
yeah,
It is not your fault. You were a child. You were a child. There was nothing that you could have done differently. You were a kid.
yeah,
And how, it happened was the mother died. And so with the mother dying, I guess this type of thing probably was sitting up in the father all along.
wow, yeah,
But it took for the mother to die for this to, you know, come out. And she said she just had to always pretend that she was somewhere else.
yeah. I
And I
understand.
said, my God, look how God covered her
Yeah,
in the midst of all of that. You
yeah,
know, that had to be something hard, because she said she went through that from the time she was like 9
wow. That is
to the time
crazy.
she was 9 years old. And what stopped it was finally the family of the mother started to realize there was something wrong with her, that she was acting very, very strange.
Mhm,
And I guess one of the aunts realized and said, she said, is he
mhm.
doing something to you? And she said she broke out and told the family.
That's crazy.
So from that time, the family took her from him.
Wow. Mm,
And it was, it was quite a bit, of different things that she went through, with that. So I wanted her to know, love yourself, because what it was making her do was go into toxic relationships.
yeah,
Toxic, you know, thinking that, if you go from pillar to post, that you're going to find some kind of joy. And you're not, because you're not facing the demon that's attacking you. You're not facing it. So when you face that devil to the face and say, wait, I
that's right.
didn't know when I was a little kid. So I'm not responsible for that,
That's right.
you know, and God has my back, because he
Yes,
would never have had that happen to me. But because of it, she's made the stronger. She made the stronger. And as long as she continue and put her trust in the Lord, he'll take that testimony of
that's right.
hers and help other people. And I tell people that you went through that, but you're going to be able, you know how many other people you're going to be able to help
I'm trying to tell you.
that,
I'm
that exactly, that are looking for answers, because they're like, well, why did this happen to me? How come, they may think they're the only person that ever
hmm
went through things like that. But I mean, I look at even what's going on now today with the border and
hmm
stuff like that. And what people aren't realizing is those poor children are being trafficked.
Yeah,
That, let's be real. They're not fooling nobody by saying, "Oh, we don't know what we're gonna do with all these kids. The kids are showing up and all of that." Well, God knows, and He lets His people know. That's
that's
what
right.
they. That's what's going on. is human trafficking.
Yeah.
And that is never the fault of the children. So that's why it's our duty to spread the gospel so that people will know that there's hope,
That's right.
that God does care. No, he's not for that foolishness. And yes, he does care about them. So to let them know that no matter what happened to them, God still loves and cares for them. And that's what makes him so amazing. Nothing that has ever happened to you could stop his love.
That's
As long as you receive it, he will come to you. He said, we'll come. He and the Father will come and sup with you.
That's right.
They'll come be with you, and you have that testimony. You
I'm
know,
a living testimony. Praise
yes,
God.
you're
Praise
a living testimony. We
God.
all are the disciples. Come on, Peter was something else. So was all of them disciples was a little cray. All right. When you read their life stories, come on now, they was a little off. Okay. So I could imagine Christ was saying, man, these guys, but you know, he still covered them and everything. And I say to myself sometimes, I know God is in heaven laughing at me some days like, Krista, just calm down, girl. I got you. All right, just calm. Just it's okay. But that's what makes him so amazing. I always say that in my prayer. I say, God, I don't know why you love me, but I'm glad you do.
Glad.
You know? But he's amazing. So we're going to see this video number 4. So amazing. Let's go to that video.
So that I can be free. I'm not the same because of your grace. You are amazing. You are amazing. You're so amazing.
Wow, wow, wow. This is so beautiful. This was strategically done because you know what? Your husband, I think, had contacted me, and I was supposed to listen to your video back then. And I don't know, I guess I got sidetracked with all my other guests and stuff like that. And then one day I just happened to be going through and I said, oh man, I forgot I was supposed to go through this video. And when I went through it, I was like, she got me on the show. So I got in touch with him and he was like, yeah. He kind of remembered me. So it just so happened that now is the season. Like with me, the Lord always brings me to a teaching of the Levitical priesthood at some point in the year. I either touch on it for a while or a certain part of the year. So here it is now. I'm going through the Levitical priesthood teaching, and I always go through it a different way all the time. That's how he gives it to me. So it's always different. And so I remember when you and I first talked, and then you said, okay, well, put me at the end of the month. And here it is, you're right in the midst of the teaching, the Levitical priesthood. So that was strategically done by God because he wanted people to hear your ministry during this time of the teaching. So that I always want people to understand that this is a serious thing. You know, when they see my show and whatnot, it's a ministry. You know what I'm saying? It's a teaching and we enjoy it and all of that, but it's a ministry. And God brought me along as a child through the Levitical priesthood. And I didn't even really realize what that was, until I got older and started, as I was reading my Bible, because I was always very, into my Bible, even as a kid. But then the Lord started taking me through the Levitical priesthood. And I said, wow, this is really a ministry. And I didn't realize what it entailed. So I remember the first time the Lord had me teach it to a dance ministry in Long Island. And it was different than every time. He always goes with a different way to teach it and all of that. And those dancers really, it brought them to understand that their dancing wasn't just because mommy sent me out here to be on the dance team. It was a ministry. So I made up, things for them to be involved with the teaching so they wouldn't be sitting just listening to me talk all day. So it just always amazes me that God does it a different way. Look at this year. Now he has you. You're here in the midst of it so people can see you and hear your testimony, of how God is amazing and the different things he's done. All these songs that you have are beautiful songs that people can hear and just, because your voice is very mellow, but it makes people think because there's something to your voice. There's a testimony behind it. And people can hear that. And so they'll just sit and listen to that and just vibe, just sit down and drink your tea and just So, because every time I play your song, I just be in here just, I'm always in here just enjoying this song. I mean, all of these songs that you have, I go to your page, your YouTube, and all of that to see what's going on. But I'm so glad that your husband reached out to me, and please tell him thank you again for doing that because this has been a blessing, and I'm sure that when I put this up on my pages and whatnot. Like I have my family, we have a page and whatnot. And I know they're going to definitely enjoy hearing your songs. They're going to really, really enjoy that. As well as, people who follow the page and whatnot, they're going to really like it. And you have got to come back. You've got to come back and share with us what you're doing. If you have any new albums coming out, or just even if you're doing a concert, or whatever things that you're doing, people would be interested in. Most people that come on the show, they come back and they share
Yes.
what's going on with them. You're there in Tennessee, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're in Tennessee. Do you have any upcoming engagements that you're doing that people may want to know about?
Right now, I'm finishing up my second album. We're at the bottom. We're almost done. So right now, I'm working on that, and we'll see what God does after that.
Okay, so you got another album that is coming out. Okay, well,
Yes.
that's definitely good to know. So let's put up your information so that people know how they can reach you, contact you. They may want you to come minister at their, wherever they are.
I'm Iva Foster. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. I do have a website. It's listed www.iamladyiva.com. There's a contact form, a little section on there. You can send an email. So yeah, I'm just all over. Just Google my name. I'm Googleable as well, and it will also pull up some information on there. So I'm just honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a guest, and we get to see your beautiful home.
Oh, thank you.
Tennessee has some nice homes. When I used to watch Greenleaf, those those houses are woo! They look nice, honey. Thank you for joining us again for the Crystal Jones Show. Could tune in on Sundays 2:30 to 3:30, channel 68 and 34. Always go to YouTube. I upload the shows all the time, so you'll be able to watch on YouTube and the Facebook page, the Crystal Jones TV Show, as well as the YouTube page. Go on there and you'll see all the episodes. All right. So God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. I always tell you stay balanced.
Stop using church intimidation, control and manipulation. Jezebel and all them spirits fall back, not trying to hear it. Go with Jesus, walk in peace. On your pew can sit that beast that we're fighting in the world. I'm that JC Supergirl, Jesus Christ, belt of truth, arm of God, I'm slaying you. Power of the word, two-edged sword. MC Heaven rocks for her Lord. Thought they crept in unaware, didn't see the gatekeeper standing right there. Not getting down with your tactics, undoctrinal practice.